All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Road Stories podcast. I'm William from the AdventureFamDam, your host. We are here at the GoPro Mountain Games in the Lightship studio next to the collab stage, and I am lucky enough to be joined by Eddie Ifft, who you probably recognize from Last Comic Standing. He's been on Showtime, Comedy Central. He has done comedy clubs from... He did the Sydney Opera House all the way down to clubs in New York and all over the place. He's traveled the world. He's been in multiple different podcasts. He hosts his own podcast. And he is joining us here today because he has a road story. Eddie, thanks for hopping on the podcast. We appreciate you.
I really appreciate it. I love nothing I love more than talking.
Perfect. Well, you're in the right profession.
I swear, it's all I could do. My whole life is just talk. And I mean, people get annoyed by me a lot. They're like, oh my God, you could talk paint off a wall. So
awesome.
Like doing podcasts is like, hey, let's go. I'm a stand-up for a living, and I don't like to write jokes. It's too hard. So I like to live them. I pretty much put myself in bad predicaments. Less now that I'm a father. Yeah. But they still happen. Mm-hmm. And then almost every day, there's a story. There's a...
like literally right now, his car is being watched by a gentleman so he could hop on this podcast.
Yeah, I did the mud run this morning with my whole family.
Oh, nice. How'd it go?
It went good. My wife was babying my son, who's 5 years old.
Okay.
And I'm like, stop. Like, he's going across. They had these, like, balance beams that you walk across, but they rock back and forth. And I'm like, he's good. He's better than you. Leave him alone. And I'm like, pull her hand off of him. And just as I do, he slips and falls right on his nuts. And he starts crying. And my wife's like, oh, baby. And I'm like, leave him alone. And I'm like, suck it up, toughen up. And I'm like, start running. And my wife's like, but he's hurt. And I'm like, you're going to ruin this kid. And we're having a fight. And I realized my phone's on. I'm like, can't wait to show you this fight.
Right.
Yeah. So that's today. That's all I got for today.
That's in the last 8 hours.
It's every day. It's because I make a lot of dumb decisions. Like I get in the car you shouldn't get in. I get on the train you shouldn't. I hang out with the guys that you shouldn't.
Or should you? Because that does make for a good story.
Like a lot of times people think I lie. And like I did Joe Rogan's podcast and everybody in the comments is like, this guy's a effing liar, blah, blah, blah. And so I just started putting links to the stories that were in the news that I was like involved in. I'd be like, who's the liar now? You know, like, I feel stupid now.
You're like, I got receipts.
But you gotta understand, like I'm out, I do stand-up comedy almost every night of the week and I'm out till like 2 a.m. That's when my mom used to tell me, she's like, don't be out after midnight. Nothing, or I think it was 2. Nothing good ever happens after 2 a.m. Yeah. And she was so right. Like nobody's ever like out. Nobody is like 3 a.m. It's like, I just cured cancer. You know, nobody has ever come home at 4 a.m. like, you're never gonna believe this. I was in a bar at 2. I met a supermodel, and we are husband and wife. We went to Vegas. Right. That never happens. So my mom was right. All the horrible stuff, but at least I get to tell.
So in that vein, so when let's pretend you and I sit down at a bar, we're just chopping it up. What's something that comes to mind? What's one of those crazy stories?
I'd say one of the craziest was Dubai in the Middle East.
Oh, all right.
I had done it a few times, and I had done shows there. They had a comedy club. They have a few comedy clubs there. And I was living in England at the time, and so I go. And I find out that the comedians I'm working with are all buddies of mine. Okay. 2 of them. And then one of them I didn't know. And I can say names because they've all talked about this story. But one was Paul Provenza, who created the movie The Aristocrats. Yep. Where 100 comedians tell the same joke 100 different ways. One of them was a great comedian from Canada named Glenn Wool. And the other comedian was named Eddie Brimson. And Eddie... wrote a book called Away We Go, which is about soccer hooliganism in England. And he was a former soccer hooligan. And now he's a stand-up comedian. And we go on stage that night, and we're being sponsored by an alcohol company, which wasn't good. Because they were taking us out and like, what do you need? It's on us. And I was like, let's see if we can bankrupt them. I said that. I go, let's try to bankrupt them. So we're out, and we're just getting... pretty crazy. And we go on stage. The show goes okay. We go to dinner afterwards. And there was a drunk British guy heckling us through the whole show. So afterwards, we go to, I'd been talking to Eddie Brimson about the soccer hooliganism stuff, and he said, look, I'm out. I don't do this stuff anymore. Yeah. I'm a nice, peaceful man. I do a lot of yoga and meditation. And so we go out for dinner after the show in the restaurant right next door. And this British guy that had been heckling us sees us at the table, and he comes over and he goes, oh, look who it is. He's like, it's you guys. And he turns and he's like, you were terrible. He goes, and he looks at me and he goes, you were all right. And then he looks at Paul Prevents, he goes, you too. And he looks at Eddie Brimson, he goes, you too. And he goes, and he looks at Glenn Wool, who's one of the most, he's just a brilliant comedian. And he goes, you sucked. You were terrible. And he goes, make me laugh. I paid this money. And Glenn very nicely goes, sir, can you please go away? I'm having my dinner. And he goes, no, not until you make me laugh. And Glenn goes, I'm not going to ask you again. Please please.
F off.
And the guy pushes him. And Glenn stands up. He goes, I warned you. He goes, get the F out of here right now. And I don't even see it, but the guy just loads up to just knock Glenn out. And he just pulls his arm back like one of those haymakers that he's going to miss probably. And the next thing I know, I see him on the ground. And Eddie Brimson has his hand and is twisting it and is standing on his neck. And I'm like, what the? So he's kicking his feet. So I just grab his feet. I'm like, I got his feet. And Eddie Brimson just looks over his shoulder and goes, security. And they come running over. They grab the guy and they haul him out. And I go, what was that? What did you just do? I go, that was like Steven Seagal in a movie. I didn't even see it. I'm like, explain to me what you did. And he showed me how he blocked the guy's punch, grabbed his wrist, put his leg behind him, pushed on his chin, and dropped him. Because if you push on someone's chin, it takes him off balance. I have my leg behind him. As he falls, he twists his arm. And I'm like, I have never, I know karate. You never see them use it. I saw it happen. And it worked perfectly. Wow. And I was like, dude, you are the man. He goes, you cannot tell anyone I did this. And I'm like, why not? He's like, I'm trying to shed that reputation. Yeah. I go, no, man, you just saved this guy. Yeah. And he showed me he had a bullet wound in him. He had a knife wound from soccer hooligans.
That's not when you're actually a hooligan, you're never going to forget.
So then I said, time to party, guys. So I was like, this is the start of the night. We just finished our show. So we start hitting the bars around Dubai. And, it's still an Islamic culture, so there's a lot of rules. And we're like, let's break them all. So we are drinking so much. And we're in these bars that are like Filipino bars where everyone sings karaoke. Yeah. And it's all in English. And they're singing our greatest pop songs. And at one point, Glenn Wool goes, I'm going on stage with the band. And we're like, go. So he pops up on stage, he starts dancing, and all of a sudden we see all these Middle Eastern bouncers just grab him and take him away. And we're like, he's going to die. They're taking him to the gulag or whatever they call it there. This guy's
that's the last time we saw him.
We were like, goodbye, Glenn. It was nice knowing you. Yeah. And then Paul Provenza looks at me and he's like, if he's going to go, I got to go with him. So he just starts getting up on a table and dancing. Nice. And they come over and swarm him and throw him away. And then Eddie Brimson is gone. And now I'm left all alone. And I'm kind of more afraid being in a, this bar in the middle of the Middle East. And I was like, well, I got to do what I got to do. And I'm fast. I ran track in college. I was a sprinter. I was like, I'm going to see how long I can avoid these guys. So I get up on stage, I see them coming, I start running. I run to the next table, I dance, I go to the next table, and I'm like, they can't catch me. And all of a sudden, boom. And I got to say, to their credit, they didn't hurt me. They just held me down and grabbed me and arm behind my back, maybe. Yeah. And I was like, I wonder if this is it. I wonder if this is, because they had told me earlier that when the prostitutes get out of hand, they put them in these trucks and they drive them out into the desert and they just throw them out. And I'm like, I guess it's off to the desert, and then nobody ever knows what happened. And I'm like, so they take me to this room and they open the door and it's the other three guys. And they go, hey! You're like, and they take us down to the elevator and they just throw us out. We're like, more. So we go to the next bar. And then somehow we end up in the street with this bottle of vodka. And I remembered riding in one of the little boats, the jitneys or whatever that they take across the river, the Dubai Creek. And I go, let's go across to the other side. So I go up to the guy and he goes, we're all closed for the night. Everybody's closed. No more boats. And I go, everything's so cheap there. I go, how much is it? I'll buy the boat.
Right.
I want to buy.
The
guy didn't speak English, but I'm like, I'm pull out my wallet. I'm like, I'm buying the boat. I'm buying the boat.
Say when to stop.
And so then he goes, yeah. He goes, all right. I just hand him like everything in my wallet. And he's like, okay. So we're out in the Dubai Creek. And I know I'm on my map. I'm like, okay, the Gulf of Oman is there. And then there's Iraq. Like if you go across the Gulf.
Wow.
And I go to Iraq. I'm like, go to Iraq. I go, we're Americans. We're Americans. They'll welcome us. And I'm like, this is after we supposedly liberated Iraq. So I'm like, go. And the guy keeps telling me, no. He's like, ba, 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 ba. And I'm like, no, go. And we're drinking, which is so illegal to drink outside.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go to Iraq. And he's like, no. And I didn't realize what he was telling me is they wouldn't let us out of, like, if we tried to leave the creek, I found this out the next day, they literally would have, like, shot at us. And I'm telling him, I'm like, we're American.
Yeah,
USA. USA. I'm every reason that people hate Americans. Like, every reason. I am the poster child.
You're the stereotype in that moment. You're like, I'm it.
Then somebody, I don't know who, had mentioned that prostitutes were, like, $50 there or something. And that's not my style. I'm not that guy. But I was like, they're $50. And people were just making jokes about, like, how inexpensive everything was. And they were like, we could get like 30 of them and have a party. And they're like, so they showed us this place where you pick them up, like you go drive up and it's like drive through, like you just open the cabin, and we're literally going, get as many in as you can, like a clown car. And so we're like, get in. And so we go to some guy's house that invited us to a house party. And drugs are illegal there. Like if they find cocaine on you, it's like
very illegal.
I think it's like 17 years in prison. And if it's on you, it's 17. If it's in your system, it's like life in prison.
Oh, wow.
And so we go to this house and someone's using, and I'm like, we got to get out of here. We're all going to jail. But they had band equipment there at this house. And so I'm like, let's play. I've never played an instrument my whole life. So I was like, I want to be lead singer because I can't play anything. And they're like, no, you're going to play guitar. And then Glenn Wool's like, I can play drums. He can't play drums. And then, or maybe Glenn sang and Paul played drums. Maybe I can't even remember at this point. But we made the prostitutes sit, like we got chairs out and they all sat.
You played a concert to the people that you had picked up.
Yes. And the whole time the prostitutes hated our music so much that they were like, can we go have sex? And we were like, no.
Like, that's not what that was the plan.
We were like, we're jamming. And we were playing. It wasn't music, but it was something.
Yeah.
And then I just remember the last thing I remember is a Congo line around the house with us whistling the bridge over the River Kwai.
Nice. Oh, wow. Yeah.
And then the next day, they told us, because they had like people like watching us from the Emirates. They're like, you guys broke every law. Like you had open containers outside. You were with prostitutes. You tried to steal a boat. And they were like, if you don't stop, right? Because we were there for like 5 days. They're like, you don't stop right now, you're all going to prison. And they were like kind of protecting us. They worked for the Emirates, but they're like, it's out of our hands. And then I missed my flight back, and because I was like in an internet cafe and I missed it. And then when I went to get on my flight, I go, I missed my flight. And they're like, too bad. And I go, well, what do I do? And they're like, you get a new flight.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, no, you guys got to give me a flight. And they're like, no, you missed your flight. We had to take your bags off the flight. You held up the flight like 2 hours. Where were you? And I'm like drunk in an internet cafe, still drunk. So they took me into customs. My passport didn't match my,
your ticket name?
My ticket, because my agent used my middle name as my last name for some reason because it was on my ID. And he told me that when he did that, he's like, you might have a little hassle at customs. The next thing I know, I'm like nude. And they're like, they open my computer. I'm like, oh no. If there's any porn on there.
Please let the search history be clear.
I was like, if they find like, I just pictured myself in this like prison with like, everybody's like, what'd you do? And one guy's like, I killed 12 men. And they're like, what'd you do? And I was like, topless car wash angels. Yeah, they found it on my
perfect10.com.
So they kept me for 24 hours in customs. I had to go back. The handler had to come get me. And when I asked him, I said, why was that? Why'd they do that to me? And I had called my girlfriend at the time, and I was like, hey, can you call the embassy and tell them I'm in trouble?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, they were just screwing with you because you're American.
Oh, nice. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
When we go down to Mexico, we call it paying the gringo tax.
That's the story. And
nice.
I've never gone to Dubai since.
Any moral out of that story?
Any what?
Any moral that you can draw to that story?
Whenever Glenn Wool says, I have an idea, it's not going to be good.
Or it makes for a good story.
Because he got me in another situation once with that, like, it started with, I have an idea.
Yeah.
And so
we all have that one friend who, like, they get the gleam in their eye and they're like, I got an idea. And you're like, uh-oh. Like, yeah. And then you're just on for the ride and you're just white knuckling through it. But if you can have some fun through the whole thing, like, shit, makes for a good story.
Yeah,
right? Why not?
I think they say you make your stories before 40 and you tell them afterwards.
Sounds about right.
So I'm glad that I'm not living those stories anymore.
You're here.
And, once I had kids, I stopped kind of drinking.
Yeah.
I have a little bit here and there, but nothing
It
like...
takes the piss out of it. Because you wake up, dude, the worst thing is being hungover with a toddler. Like, my God, I did it once. And I was like, okay.
Whenever people
Never again.
Whenever people without kids say I'm so hungover, I'm like, you don't know what it's like to be hungover.
Until you have to change a diaper and the thing is screaming at you.
And you want to throw up. It's the worst. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Hey, well, thanks for hopping on.
Well, thanks for having me.
That was a great story.
I hope it was. I hope.
No. They're all good stories.
I did.
Like, there's something fun.
I still do it. I do a podcast called Talking Shit.
Yeah.
And I have comedians on, and it's never the guys you think. It's never the funniest guys. Out of the blue, I'll have guys be like, so let me tell you about the time I got beat up by the mafia. And you're like, what?
Whoa.
So it's a cool thing what you're doing.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, while we got you on, what's going on? Anything you got going on that you want to plug? Tell the people about?
I'm working on a lot of content.
Okay.
That word that everybody says now, because I used to do like TV shows and pitch TV shows, but that's like, thanks to YouTube, that's non-existent. So now I kind of attach with sponsors and make content, and all my crazy old ideas that have been turned down by all the TV networks are now coming to fruition. Like, people are going, that's a great idea. And I'm like,
10 years ago.
They didn't like that at NBC. They didn't like that at Fox. I would go for a day for like 12 meetings, not a day, but in like a week, I'd go on like 12 meetings and be like, no. I think in 29 years, I sold 3 TV shows.
Oh, wow.
And
that's the grind, though.
Here's the worst part. None of them made it to air. So it's like one every 10 years.
Well, I got to ask you, and this is going to be off topic for the podcast, but with the advent of things like YouTube and almost being like a little bit in the driver's seat of your own content, do you feel like the ideas that you've had are coming to fruition better in a more real way, or is it's just a different landscape and you just got to pitch differently?
That guy, Paul Provenza, that I mentioned, said to me once, art is never made by consensus. And
Okay,
I used to go to so many meetings, and they'd be like, I think this character needs to be trans, and I think he's not going to be your best friend, he's going to be your brother, and you guys were adopted, and you don't know if and you're just like, you're just ruining everything. Yeah. And so now I get to do it my way. And I honestly would rather do it for no money my way than make the big corporate bucks and hate it, which is everything I did. Everything I was ever on, I just like walk away going. I called my manager one time. I had a pilot with Comedy Central. And then halfway through the pilot, I called him and said, you got to get me out of here. I'll meet you at the back door. Just take me away. I'm so ashamed of this right now. And that was almost in America. That was I did a lot of TV shows in Australia. And they were always like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, what do you guys have? Like, you're the funny guy. Do it.
That's awesome.
And I'd be like, thank you. First time I was on TV doing stand-up there, they go, can we go over your material? I go, oh, yeah, you want to check my language? They're like, no, we want to make sure it's funny. And I was like, oh, this is
like, that's a breath of fresh air.
So I kind of am really happy with the everything kind of falling apart in America. I used to have a bus. I tell you, I rode a bus around, it was called the Bingle Bus. And I bought my fans gave me $60,000 on a Kickstarter. I bought a $10,000 bus,
like
school bus, a short bus.
Skoolie.
Because all the guys that worked for me were special. And and then I spent $80,000 total, throwing in my own money to make this bus that broke down in Iowa. And I almost lost my wife, my kid.
Oh, wow.
We toured with it. We would park it in front of the Improv Comedy Club in Hollywood. Everyone's been on it, from Rogan to Steve-O to, I had the whole cast of Jackass on it once, and
Nice.
crazy. Ari Shaffir showed his junk the first night, the opening night, because we had cameras all inside. He's like, "Where's the camera?"
Oh,
and he just
God.
went up to him, and was like, "Yay!" And
Yeah,
then there
yeah.
were screens outside where everybody could watch from outside, and it was just ahead of its time. I just
Yeah.
couldn't afford to keep it up, but like,
Bring
this
it back.
Yeah,
Dude, let's fire the schoolie back up.
I'll need $80,000 by Patreon.
So the link below is to
Yeah.
his new Kickstarter. Awesome, man. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for hopping on the
Thanks
pod.
for
I
having me. It's a
appreciate
great
you.
idea. Great,
Hey.
great life you're living.
Yeah, we're trying it, man.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You doing the oh, she's only 2, so, or she's 4 now.
She's 4 now, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna do the homeschooling.
Haven't made up our mind yet.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, like, I think we could get away with kindergarten and first grade, but, like, after that, she's going to be smarter than us, so.
Where is home base?
Home base right now is out in Maryland, but I was born in Colorado. My wife
Okay.
and I met in Aspen, so, like, coming back here was, like, a little
Why
bit of
Maryland?
homecoming. That's just where her family's got
Oh,
a
so
spot.
you always go to the hearse.
We totaled our RV, actually, last October.
Oh, I'm sorry to
We
hear
literally
that.
drove the wheels off of it.
Wow.
Yeah, they sheared off at the lug nut.
You know,
There's a tire out, by the way.
you
There's
saw it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't-
It went past in front of me, and I was like, that can't be good. Next thing I know, I look back, and the inner tire had come up through the floor, and the outer tire was bounding off into a field.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What kind of RV is it?
It was a 99 Tioga 22C, but we had lifted it and done a 4x4 conversion.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was the poor man's earth roamer, basically.
Will you text me a photo of that?
1,000%.
I would love that.
All right.
We had, our worst one was the I don't know what they call it, up by the engine, the door on it, the bus came up, and they worked on the engine and they didn't put it back on right, and I carbon monoxide poisoned everyone on the bus.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
This is why old vehicles are great.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Go get your car.
I'll see you. Thanks.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Later.
That was Eddie Ifft, everybody. Thanks, mate, for coming on. That was awesome. I really appreciate you. Hell yeah. It's so newfound.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, take it easy. Good luck tonight. I knew he was going to have a crazy story.